Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your man EGlaze and another edition of the EGlaze Chronicles right here on the OTV Media Network. I am happy. I'm your host, EGlaze. I hope y'all are getting ready for Christmas, 2020. Because, 2020 been hard. We need to enjoy these Christmas. But I'm ending the year with two of my favorite people. This week is my man Vince, who was supposed to be last week, but we ain't going to talk about that. And this week, it'll be my dad. He'll be joining me. Today, man, I want y'all, for my boys know who this guy is. Everybody's seen him, know him. I think everybody enjoyed the tech know him. They were hitting me, you got Officer Vince on everywhere. Yeah.
Oh, man.
But today, please welcome my guy, Vince. He puts Vincent in his name, but it's Vince Seay. What's happening, brother?
What's up, fam?
How you doing, man?
Man, I'm good, man. Just blessed and just chilling.
Yo, so today, man, we're gonna jump into a few things because at the end, I'm gonna give you a scenario of you doing something, and I want you to be honest about it because I know how you are, and give us the full your information like we know we need to. But we'll just jump into it. Talk about it, man. You've been in some type of law enforcement going on how many years now?
19.
19. What made you want to do it? Was it something that you looked into, or was it one of those things where I didn't want to sound like every brother? I just need a job, bro. Let me jump into this real quick. What made you do it, man?
I had no earthly idea I was going in. None. As a matter of fact, going in law enforcement was probably the furthest thing from my mind. I was in retail. So I like wearing my little suits and clothes and selling clothes, and that was cool. But I got married, had a son. So my mother was like, dude, you need a real job. Like that other stuff is cute, but you need a real job. So she suggested I go fill out this application with Clayton County Sheriff's Office. And reluctantly I did. And they called and I went through the little process. And I remember I was like, man, I'm gonna do about 4 or 5 months and I'm going back to selling clothes.
Wait, 4 to 5 months and now 19 years. Good Lord,
man. Because dude, like I just had no earthly idea that's where I was going. I didn't have a clue. And I got there and I'm in my first day. I was ready to run. My first day, they put me in this cell with these couple of these killers, and I'm like, I ain't never been in a jail, more or less. You done put me around the killers my first day. Like, I don't know what to say about this. Man, so next thing you know, I started working. Money started coming in pretty decent, and then I started joining a couple of little teams on the side, and next thing you know, here it is 19 years later.
What's been the biggest thing through the 19 years you've learned? Because, look, everybody, that's family right there. But we always see, like, when he with the boys, he's always our guy. We say, hey, Vince, what's going on here? What's going on here? And you talking about it. What's the one thing through these 19 years that you learned about the profession and also what you doing in the profession?
I think the biggest thing I learned is just treat people the way you want to be treated. Like no matter what the situation is, just treat people with some type of respect, some type of dignity. You ain't got to like the person, you don't make it personal. Do the job and keep moving. So that's the main thing I learned. Just treat people with some type of respect. Because one thing I will say, dude, I have run into dudes I either have locked up or was in there, while I was working. And one thing about it, I don't care where you are, they're going to remember you. You may not remember them, but they're going to remember you. And if you treated them like crap, yeah, you'll hear about it.
I know I would remember you. Like, hey, man, that's because it is what it is. I mean, dealing with people, man. And what have you, I always ask this for a guy who, your father got 2 sons, you taking care of them, and they know what you do, they see what you do. How has it been for you raising kids and doing what you're doing? Because You know, like I said, I know the stories, but what has it been for you to raise them, knowing how it is in society, hearing the stories, they hear about that, and raising them through these times? Because I mean, 19 years. I mean, you've been doing this since both of them pretty much were born,
Yeah,
almost.
pretty much.
Yeah. So how's that been for you raising two young men through this
Well,
thing?
my oldest, we had a little discussion about a few months ago. We had about an hour and a half discussion about the profession, and he was actually, for the first time, he actually looked at me like, I don't understand why you the police. You know, with the history of the police in this country, I don't even know why you the police, Dad. And it was kind of like, whoa, okay. So I heard his concern. I listened to him, but it was just like, always remember this, son. Every meal you've ever eaten came from this officer's salary. Every clothes that been on your back, every shoe that been on your foot came from this officer's salary. So don't get it twisted. I understand your concern. I understand you see stuff on the news, and you being a young black man, you have your concerns, but don't paint with such a broad brush.
You know, and that's truth right there. I mean, you know, we all know guys. I know you. I know other guys on the force, and we see stuff that's going on. What's been your reaction to all of this? 2020 in general has been crazy with COVID, Black Lives Matter, and so much going on. But personally, what has it meant for you? Again, being in law enforcement and raising young men, young black men, and this how's it been for you? Because I know for me, bro, it's been rough trying to, what I do with optimize and the kids we deal with, bro, and you deal with the kids out there in the area too. We all have to listen and see everything and how it affects us. So how would you sum up this year, 2020?
Honestly, man, the shutdown happened, and I remember it to the day. March 12th was my last day, or the last day the kids was in school. And for those that don't know, I am a school resource officer in one of the local school districts. And when the kids left, I haven't seen them until this past Wednesday. Like, I literally have not seen the kids until this past Wednesday, unless they were playing sports. Unless they were playing sports, I haven't seen them. So for me, I haven't had a whole lot of interaction with them, but it gave us as a department time to kind of reflect on what are we doing as a department and what kind of department we want to be and where we want to go. And that's probably been a really good thing, because we've been able to have those discussions without the kids, around, or without us having to be in that space all the time with the kids. So we've been able to have that discussion. And so we've taken a kind of an introspect look at our department and just saying, okay, how can we be a part of the solution and not part of the problem?
And that's what's up, man. I think that's what, a lot of people want to hear. And you being in that district and be the resource of protecting our children, which all of us know.
Most important resource.
Yeah, I mean, that's very important. Like that's something else, man. You know what's funny is, the first time I met you, I didn't know who your mom was until she friended me, and I was like, oh, that's okay. Yeah, okay. But, she being a state representative, representing her district well for years, many years. Just talking with her and seeing what she's going through. How has that been with the conversations with her? Because she gets to deal with that stuff at the state level and hear all that stuff and election years and all that. Y'all kind of in the public eye. Y'all mostly doing this public stuff. How's it been with her and listening to her and talking to her?
Yeah, she's more public. She's definitely more public than I am. I'm kind of low key with mine by nature, but mom, she's been down at the Senate now for the last, this will be year 18 years. So she's been there 18 years, and she was 2 years before that over on the House side. So she's been 20 years down at the Capitol. And she and I have a lot of discussions about it because she's on the Public Safety Committee for the state. So she'll call me or text me a lot when they're having discussions about different things and try to get, my opinion on it. And I think that's good, because at the end of the day, if we don't have dialogue with some of our state legislatures on the law enforcement side, how can we get some things done? And I kind of wanted her and the entire committee really to understand from a law enforcement perspective kind of what it is we do and what it is we're looking for. I don't want to always speak for all officers, but at the end of the day, if she asks me, I'm going to tell her from my perspective, and then they'll make whatever decisions they're going to make from that point. But those dialogues, man, have been great. They've been necessary. And she'll ask me, my mother, she's about as honest as you can be. She'll ask me, why they do this and why they do that. But as I explain to her, I can't answer for every officer, and I'm not going to answer for every officer. Every officer has to make their own individual decisions. But I do think at the end of the day, if the training of those officers should be universal. Now, the decision making may be one thing, but the training should be definitely universal.
Which, man, you just brought me into you pivoted into what I want to talk about. You also just created Seay Security Consultants, your own business venture. Talk to us about what type of thing you consult these people with and creating these security firms and things of that nature. Talk to us about Seay Security. Seay Security, talk to me.
Yeah, man. It pretty much evolved into a long time coming business. I've been doing private security almost since I've been in law enforcement. And our brother, our fam, John Bill, he told me several years ago, hey, dude, you need to start your own company. And when you're not kind of sure of yourself and kind of what you want to do and where you want to go, you kind of can hold yourself back. It's a good thing I got my brothers and family that support me. And I got to talking to my tax consultant about it. And he was like, great idea. Let's go ahead and get it started. And he went ahead and put the paperwork up. So the paperwork part, as far as, registering with the state of Georgia and the Secretary of State, that was easy. The hard part was coming up with, what are you going to do with it? Okay, I got the private security part down pat. I've been doing that for years. I don't want to just do private security. I wanted to be able to instruct people on not just how to get a gun, but actually how to use it. And I'm not just talking about shooting, I'm talking about actual tactics. Because we got guys out here and all of these neo-Nazi white supremacist groups who loading up on weapons, and they're training every day. And so if something come around, they're gonna be ready. Well, I want to be able to teach some of my people, hey, you need to be ready too. We need to get out here. I'm not just gonna teach you, we're not gonna just train in shooting. We're gonna train in tactics. So that's kind of how that came about, and that's kind of what I want to be about. The shooting, the training part is one part of it, and then going over some case law, because at the end of the day, as a private citizen, you need to know what the laws of the state of Georgia are about you having your gun in your possession, and you need to be very clear about those laws.
Let me ask you this: what keeps you up at night?
Worrying about my son. If anything gonna keep me up at night is I got a 21-year-old young man who is, that's my guy. That's my firstborn. That's my namesake. That's my guy. But in today's world, at the end of the day, you're talking about a young black male with dreads, with tats. He's automatically looked at as a threat. But anybody that knows him knows he's the least threatening kid, period. He just want to go out, hang with his friends, and just be a normal young man. He's going through this life trying to navigate, trying to figure out what he wants to do and where he wants to go. He's figuring himself out. But he's the least threatening kid. And so what worries me to death, man, is one day getting that phone call. And so if anything that's gonna keep me up, that's it. But we've had the talk, and we've had that same talk since he was 15 about what to do to interact with the police, what to do if he gets pulled over, especially when he started driving. We've had those talks, and that's been drilled in him over and over again. And I'm starting to have these similar conversations now with my 13-year-old, because I don't think you can be too young having those conversations, because you never know when you're going to have a police encounter. And at the end of the day, when I'm not in uniform, I'm still just a regular black man, running the streets, out here in Atlanta, navigating my way through. And so the police they don't know if I'm an officer or not until I tell them when they see my ID.
I think everybody kind of has that same thing. I'm gonna switch it up a little bit, Vince. And shout out to John Bill. John always got the ideas. Like he always, you need to do this. You need to do this, and next thing you know, we be like, we all right. Next thing you know, when we do it, stuff happens. So
yeah. It's slow moving. My situation is still slow moving, but it finally got moving. So
right. Hey, as long as it's moving forward, you know what I'm saying?
That's it.
So, for those who don't know, Vince is one of the biggest Falcons fans I know. But not only is he a Falcon fan, Vince is a draft guru, in my opinion. So, Vince, I told you I was going to switch it up a little bit, and I'm switching it up right now.
Okay.
Frank calls you. He wants you to be the general manager for the Atlanta Falcons.
Oh, please give me that call. You ain't got to pay me.
What are your first 3 moves that you make? And the floor is yours, sir.
Oh, first move I make as general manager, I'm hiring Eric Bieniemy as my head coach. Very first move I'm making. Period. And I'm going to let him fill out his coaching staff from that point on. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find me the best pro and college scout I can in the game, because we obviously have some lack of talent on this team, and I need to build that talent up. And then the third thing I'm going to do in a draft, and I can't wait for it. Unfortunately, I've been having to play with this draft for the last 2 months. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and find the heir apparent to Matt Ryan. Not that he has to go next year, but I got 13 years out of him, and I got 13 good years out of him. I can't ask you for any more, to be honest with you. The game has changed. The mobile quarterback is the guy that needs to be behind center. That's just not Matt's game. But Matt is a huge resource and has a wealth of knowledge that he can pass on and tutor to a young quarterback. And so for me, that would be my first 3 moves.
Get the coach, the enemy, the old college scout, and find Matt's replacement. I feel you. Is Julio in your future if you GM?
That's the one I'm still debating on. And it's funny because I never thought I would say that. But at the end of the day, he can't play forever either. And we've got 9 great seasons out of Julio. 9. So I would literally have to look and see how things fall. Because one, you got to look at the fact he's actually spending a little bit more time on the sideline than he is, on the field. And that's problematic in and of itself. And then the next thing is, I do want that kind of guy to train up a young up and coming receiver like he's doing with Calvin, like Roddy did with him, and so on and so forth. Because that veteran leadership, that's just invaluable.
Yeah, so hold on, man. I'm sorry, I had a little issue real quick. So I want to ask you this. You my draft guru. I can go to you. So Trevor or Justin, if you the Jets or Jacksonville, who you go with first?
I'm going with Trevor Lawrence, period. There's almost no flaw in his game.
That's your guy?
No, but yeah, there's almost no flaw in his game. So, yeah. The first person I'm going with is definitely Trevor. No question.
Who the best edge rushers out there that you've seen so far that you think would be? Everybody's looking at Atlanta. Of course, everybody, and like you said, we need to get rid of Matt. Matt got a year contract for a couple more years. That ain't happening. You can get one in the 3rd round, maybe second, 3rd round. We ain't finna give up a tough, unless it's Justin or, you know what I'm saying? But
right. And I'll tell you the dude I like, Glaze. I like Kyle Trask. I like him a lot. If I had to pick a dude right now in the 3rd round, I love Kyle Trask. I think he can very much develop into a guy. He's a little mobile, got a strong arm, can make all the throws. And you can develop him a la how you did with Matt Shaw.
Right. Like Trask, young guy, showed up this year for Florida. Gonna be in the house with candidacy. Okay, all right, I like that. So after all we said and done, man, how disappointed are you in this Falcons team this year? I thought we had a chance to do some
How much
things.
time you got? How much time you got? I'm extremely. Extremely. Dude, like, we came into this season saying, okay, look, you got everything you need. Now, there's a lot of, we feel like there's some issues that we overvalue some positions. So, for example, we overvalue bringing in Ty Gurley. Dude just don't have it. You know, the Rams got everything they could out of him, and we got what was left over. You know, it ain't the first time we did it with Steven Jackson.
Which wasn't much, but, you know.
Right. So, you know, so that, you know, we overvalued that particular situation. I think in some ways we overvalued our offensive line because we can't get a yard, and I don't care who's back there. So we literally have a non-existent running game. So if you want to kind of pinpoint one of the reasons we haven't been able to close out games, because we can't run the ball. Can't run the ball, you can't control the clock. So you can't give yourself a fighting chance to win those close games. And then, you know, the truth of the matter is, man, coaching. I mean, we have a very bad culture of the Flowery Branch that's permeated throughout that entire, you know, building. And it's evident because even with Dan Quinn gone, yeah, we got a little bit better under Raheem, but the truth of the matter is the residuals are still there. So, you know, and the same problem still exists. So at the end of the day, we got to literally get a new guy in there with a new voice and a brand new culture, a brand new vision, and a different eye for looking at different talents.
You know what pisses me off, Vince? And I use that word.
I see.
Every time we go to the Super Bowl, the next 3 to 4 years we suffer. Remember we went to Super Bowl in 99 and we just went 2000, 2001, 2000. Well, we got Mike Vick. Here we go, same thing, 2017, Super Bowl, and we have went down every year. And it drives me crazy. It's almost like, can we build from that? Because we always thought, once we got to the Super Bowl that last time, that we were a team that still had weapons. And that's what kind of drove me insane a little bit, is that we didn't lose weapons. Like you said, we put a lot of money in linemen, offensive linemen, that for us not to be able to run is blowing me away. We got decent receivers. You know, Ridley is going to be good. You know, I thought that. But, like, we couldn't get an end. We got tacking. We lost 2 ends in 2 years, defensive end. You know what I'm saying? Then we brought Dante Fowler. We thought he was going to be something. Our best draft pick was a 6th-round pick, or was he 5th?
Grady was 5th. Grady was 5th.
He was 5th round. I mean, we weren't expecting that, but he didn't become all-world for us right there. So it's just – you know, even at 45, my guy Jones, he was a 4th round, I think, a 3rd or 4th round. He wasn't high draft.
He was 2nd round pick.
2nd round, yeah.
Yeah, he was 2nd round pick.
Alakunde, he's been good. So these guys have looked like the lower drafts have been doing some things for. I like AJ. I think AJ is learning a lot on the job because he's been taking on some big time receivers these last few weeks with Michael Thompson and all these guys. But I just don't know, man. This team seemed, if we were bare, I would be bad that we don't have no talent, but we have talent. So I don't think I agree with you. The culture is terrible. That's a culture thing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
We have to shake up the culture somehow. And I totally agree with you on that. Your thoughts on that?
Well, go back to something you said, Glaze, about after the Super Bowl. You know, we go to the Super Bowl. We think, we may be able to sustain this. And then look at the coaching decision that was made. We hired Steve Sarkisian to take over the offense instead of giving a guy like Matt LaFleur, who was already in the building as the quarterback's coach, and giving him an opportunity to become, like, literally he was right under Shanahan. He literally could have became the offensive coordinator, and you could have probably had a seamless transition to the next year. And we kind of blew that. So in a lot of ways, we've blown some things just based on coaching decisions. And I'm not even just talking in-game decisions. I'm talking about literally picking certain coordinators, a la bringing Dirk Cutter back for a second go round, and you know, it is what it is. So we've shot ourselves in the foot with a lot of different things, but I think ultimately coaching and all that encompasses that has been our biggest Achilles heel.
When he hired Dirk Cutter, I was like, he getting fired next year. It's coming. It's because he wasn't that good when he was here before under Smith. So I was like, yeah, he won't get fired. That's all. Because that little dink and dunk offense is just nothing opens
Again,
up.
but the league has changed, and we're not,
Yeah.
for whatever reason, you know, we've decided not to change with it. And I don't know why. Because like I said, you had Matt LaFleur literally sitting in your building and you let him leave to go for a Steve Sarkisian to run an offense that he's never run. It just didn't make any kind of sense. So
well, we see what happens without the sense. All right, man, let's wrap it up with this, man. You talked about your business. What can they find about your stuff, man? They can follow your draft picks and all that good stuff, man. Where can they learn and find out about Vince Seay and all things?
well, yeah, they can. I'm again on Twitter, Vincent C VVS1, VVC1 on Twitter, Facebook. Of course, my name Vincent C SCAY. And the business, they will have to email me about the business because again, right now, again, it's still in the infancy stage. I'm still coming up and drafting my. I'm still coming up pretty much with my lesson plan. And I'm being very strategic about it because when you start talking about training with firearms and things like that, you better be very careful of what you say to people. So I'm still kind of coming up with that. So that's kind of slow moving. But if somebody wants to reach out to me about that information, they can reach me at vseay@comcast.net, vseay@comcast.net, and I'll get back with you about that. And that's with C Security Consultants. And yeah, man, just you know, I'm still gonna keep doing what I do. 19 years here doing the thing, and hopefully, I'll do a few more, and then I can call it a career.
There is everybody. Most people know him. When people say Officer Vince, that's my guy. Love you, brother. Thank you for showing up.
Love you back, man.
I got all my boys in. Y'all didn't think I could do it in 2020. I got all my boys on the mic this year, so I'm happy. Hey, man, we are, for everybody out there, take care of yourselves. 2020 did teach us a lot. I know everybody looks at what was wrong with 2020, but hopefully you learned a lot about who you were and your family, how important family is. We can't take that stuff for granted no more.
No doubt.
Visiting family is a big thing these days, and so make sure you reach out and enjoy your Christmas. Make sure you follow OTV Media on everything, man. Facebook, OTV Media Network, IG, OTV Media Network, Twitter.
One last thing.
Go ahead, man.
Congratulations on everything. I saw what you did, giving out the gift bags yesterday. My brother, you're doing it big. OTV gonna be even bigger and better in 2021, and I'm proud of you, bro.
Thank you, man. And hey, man, look, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Those meetings, man, with you guys, y'all push me, like I said, John, and all that, man. So we keep doing some things out there, man, and we keeping it going, and that's what it's all about: having healthy conversations and positive people in your life. So we're happy to be there, man. Enjoy everybody. Enjoy your holiday, man. Get some time together. If you can't get in front of them personally, you can Zoom them, call them on the phone, talk to them. Matter of fact, I talk to my parents soon. So, my man Vince, boy EGlaze, thank you guys for listening. Y'all have a great holiday. Remember, continue to optimize.